Welcome back. You're still watching the game. The Gilas Pilipinas Women's team may have ended the Jones Cup with a 2-4 record, but a couple of key standouts emerged in their campaign. And with us to break down their performance is basketball analyst and first-timer. We love first-timers here on the game, attorney Mariana Lopa. Good evening and welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me, guys.
The first of many that will be here on the show. Okay, let's talk about the girls. First of all, before we talk about the results and the actual games, the last time we were in the Jones Cup, we were 0-5.
Right.
Right, so we were 2-4. But other than that, to your knowledge, attorney, what were the intentions and I guess the object going into this tournament? What were the expectations? The new girls, because a lot of new girls, a lot of mainstays, and then may mga bumalik din sa team, right? So
I think one of the main intentions from an outsider looking in was really to give opportunities also to a lot of the girls who weren't able to go to SEA Games or Asia Cup. Yeah. So that was one. I think they brought a lot of young players. They brought Luna Ozar, young kids.
Right.
Casey De La Rosa.
Correct.
And then at the same time, it was still, of course, continuing to play because we don't have a local league here. So being able to compete internationally with pros is huge for the Gilas women.
We also talked about how this is a developmental thing for some of the younger players there. Casey De La Rosa in particular, Jasmine Hoson, who has been making waves in the scene as of late. How did you see their games translate and how great is this for their own personal development? Knowing that, okay, we're not just playing against people here in the Philippines. We're now going up against some of the more tougher competitions around the region.
Definitely. Well, Jazz was like a totally different player. In the UAAP, she plays mostly point guard, facilitates for Ateneo, brings down the ball. In this Jones Cup, she played more shooting guard. She was more like catch and shoot right away. Like the moment she saw the ring, she would take the shot. And I like that Jazz. I like that Jazz. She came with a lot of confidence and brought a lot of points every game. Casey De La Rosa, any league you put her in, she shines.
Yeah.
Every competition so far she's gone to locally, she's won an individual award. So it was her first time to be tested internationally on the elite level, and she showed up as usual, almost averaging a double-double.
Right, Jasmine Hoson's game or points, 12 points, 2 rebounds against Iran, and then followed it up with 14 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists, and of course you mentioned KC. What a debut at 14 and 15 right away. Not too shabby in the next game with a 12 and 8 output. I'm sure you've talked to her already.
Yeah,
what was she saying about this initial experience for her and the kind of learning that she is getting from, or she got from this trip to Taiwan?
You know, I think Casey is just the way she looks on the court, like young, having fun all the time. That's the way she is off the court too.
Yeah.
So when I asked her, "Kamusta dyan? How are you doing?" and the first thing she says is, "Ang saya, playing against good opponents." She says she has no idea why she has 1 steal per game. And also, I think for these two girls, it's a lot of learning from their teammates too. Like Casey's learning a lot from playing with Jack and Jazz at the same time with the other guards.
For sure, and they're probably going to be different players once the UAAP start. And can I just ask your opinion about how will they bring this to the UAAP?
Scary times for the UAAP.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Definitely.
For the opponents?
Yeah, I mean, last year they brought Ateneo to the Final Four, both of them making the mythical 5, right? This year with international experience under their belt, that last year was coming off pandemic.
Yeah.
There was no women's basketball during the
Right.
pandemic. This year coming off 1 season and international experience, scary times.
I'm excited because women's basketball in the UAP has become more and more competitive, and with LaSalle doing as well as they did, with Ateneo having more international talent part of their group right now, it's really scary times. So I don't know. NU's gonna have it's going to be NU's gonna have a good race on their hands.
They're going to have a great tournament.
Absolutely. Now, speaking of, you mentioned si Jack Animam a while ago and being a mentor figure to some of the younger ones there, and she's still producing very well. In that game wherein si Casey got a 17 and 10 against ROCA, she got just a meager line of 13-7, 2 assists and 4 steals. What does Jack and her consistency do for this team, especially for the younger ones as they are now learning from her?
Yeah, well, Jack and Afril, basically, they bring the same stability to the team, you know. Every time they get on the court, you know exactly what you're going to get from them. And I think that kind of consistency gives the rookies or the younger players a lot of confidence. That they know they can, take their shots, especially people like Jazz, can take their outside shots because they know Jack is down there and she'll get the rebounds. And So they don't have to be scared to be taking their shots.
19-10 in that game against Japan also, and we're very happy for her, of course, right, with all the opportunities that she's getting internationally.
Definitely. On her way to China.
On her way to China after an injury, you know, the recovery,
Right.
just that in itself. Janine Ponteos also, you know, these names that we're mentioning, the mainstays,
Right.
they're mainstays for a reason, attorney.
Well, Janine has made her name by shooting threes.
Yeah.
I mean, at a certain point, everyone was saying she's the best three-point shooter in Asia in women's basketball. The thing about Janine is she's so quiet and unassuming. You sometimes forget she's on the court when she's together with the Chaka Binbins and Kate Castillos. So in this tournament, without those other names, you could see the difference between Janine and the newer players.
Yeah, you know, si
No
Janine.
conscience eh.
Oo nga eh.
Oh, yeah.
No conscience
Oh, yeah.
talaga.
If her point total's not divisible by 3, I normally ask why. But you take a look at this entire tournament as a whole. Now you have had some of the returning players, you had some of the mainstays, and you have of course some of the hopefully future ng Gilas Pilipinas Women. A lot of this is geared towards preparation for the women's the Asian Games. You have this type of preparation. Just how great is it for Coach Pat to be able to see this type of thing and make it more difficult for him to pick a lineup come the Asian Games?
It's a difficult problem for Coach Pat, but it's a good problem, right? It's a problem we didn't have
Many,
for
many
a long time.
years, yes.
Yeah, we used to beg players to come and try out for Gilas. And now, it's a great problem for Coach Pat to have to choose between great talent. I mean, we have players coming from the US playing Division 1 and not playing so much on
Exactly.
Gilas.
Yeah.
So our local girls are competing with girls who come from abroad. That's huge for the Philippine program and difficult for Coach Pat.
Attorney, what do you know about what's next? I know the Asian is the preparation, but they are competing, is it Korea or somewhere
I understand they got an invitation to join the WKBL. It's like the equivalent of the Summer League of the NBA.
else? Okay,
So that's in the end of August.
end of August, but all in preparation for the Asian Games,
Yes.
which is of course September, if I'm not mistaken.
All right. Attorney, maraming salamat.
First of many.
First of many, the debut that started, the movement. Maraming salamat, Attorney. Really appreciate you.
Thank you for having me.